Hey guys, please here. Wanted to do another video today, except for this one, I wanted to center it mostly around the underworld. The underworld is something that you can start to get access to up here in the top right of the battle screen. You can see it says underworld. I'm going to click that. You can get access to that as early as level 50, but some people don't recommend starting it until about level 150 to 250. With the price of the things that you need to level up being so cheap, I would just recommend starting it at 250 and not really wasting your time with anything under that because the loot just really isn't worth it. So let's just assume you're level 250 plus and you want to get started on the underworld. What should you do? Well, step one, what you want to do is you want to decide what profession you want to do. Now, the professions are kind of broken up into separate categories. As you can see here, we have 7 different professions. Mining, smelting, and keysmithing, I would kind of classify as, one group of profession because you need to mine the ore, then you need to smelt the ore into bars, and then you need to keysmith those bars into keys. The reason you're doing this is you're making ingredients to get into the dungeons. The dungeons have a certain list of ingredients. You can see right here it says required materials. You need to make the materials to get into the dungeon, or you can buy them from other players as well. So, as well as mining, smelting, and keysmithing, the next group I would say is herbalism and alchemy. You make the herbs, and then those herbs turn into potions. That's what I do. And then you have inscription, which makes the manuscripts, which is one of the other items you need. You need basically 3 different, you need a key, you need potions, and you need manuscripts. And you're going to get those through either buying them from players or making them yourself through here. You can also speed up the process of how fast you make these materials. It's a time-based thing. So for instance, I need to make herbs so that way I can eventually make some potions. So I'm going to start crafting some herbs. As you can see here, it takes me 12 hours to make 693 herbs, but it takes me about a minute to just make one herb. You can abort and claim this at any time and get your ingredients early if you'd like to, or it doesn't really matter too much. Whenever I see that the timer's low like this, like let's just say it was like 200 out of 600, if I catch it like this, sometimes I'll just abort it and then go and restart the timer just so I can make sure that I don't waste any time. But once you're done making all the ingredients, basically what happens is you would get into a dungeon. You would find 3 other people and you would start a private dungeon and you would invite them into the dungeon. And then letting this load for a little bit here. I just turned on the option at the bottom. Once you have all the players in the party, you can go ahead and start the dungeon. I'm going to show you guys how you can attack effectively on that dungeon. Now, this is a higher level dungeon, so the numbers are going to be smaller on your dungeons if you're just starting, but it essentially works the same way. So I'm going to go ahead and check off this box at the bottom that recreates and invites all players to the dungeon after completion. So that way I don't have to find their names. It'll just automatically send them an invite, which is an amazing feature that Corah added. That wasn't an original feature whenever Underworld first dropped. That's a quality of life improvement that he added to the game. So I'm going to go ahead and start this dungeon now. Yes, I'm sure. As you can see, there's 3 floors. It says floor 1 out of 3. If I go to show members, you can see that each member has 10 attacks. Well, if you look on the screen, you can see there's 3 different colored bars. Those bars represent the subclass damage. Everybody has a different subclass. For instance, if you look at me, you can tell that my AoE damage is more heavy than the rest of them. That means I'm an AoE. Um, I'm in the AoE subclass. If you look at Move Money, his is the same way, except in the damage category, we like to call that single target, he has more there. And then you can see with Megamind, he also is Resilience, the third one. So generally speaking, you want to have one strong person in each class, and then the 4th person can be like a filler. You want them to be strong as well, but it doesn't necessarily matter which class they are. But I mean, it would help too if it was a class towards what was the lowest at the time. But so now that everybody was marked as AFK, which I think it does have itself after about 10 to 15 seconds, I can begin attacking. Now, you want to split the damage up evenly. So I'm the only AoE, Move Money's the only single target, and I got Adosis and Megamind as the 2 Resilience, which we like to call crowd control. You'll see as people typing in the chat, it's called CC. I like to start with the weaker versions first, and you'll see what I mean whenever we talk about raids in a little bit. But so since Ito has less score than Megamind, I'm going to start using his resilience moves first. So if you look at the top, anytime I hit attack, the health bar on that goes down, and that's based off of the numbers that he has for his stat points. Right? So I'm going to do 3 attacks on Ito. I'm going to do 3 attacks on Move. One, well, maybe 2, because Move has a lot of damage in there. So look, I didn't want to overdo it because he did a lot. And then I'm also going to drop 2 in here and see where we sit. So I can do one more. If you look at there's a fat chunk of AoE damage, and I'm just going to go ahead and knock that out of the park. Now, this is a good coaching moment. We have 30,000 left on the floor, and there's over 30,000 left in all 3 classes. This is the moment where you can look at who has what you have left in terms of subclass attacks. Now, since I have 10 attacks left from Megamind and 7 attacks left from Ito, that's 17 attacks when I only have 8 here and 7 here. So if I have to quote unquote waste an attack here, I'm going to just go ahead and let it be Ito's attack, which brings us into the next floor, but it's not too much of a waste, I'd say. I mean, if anything, he's saving us for being able to put more damage in later. So I'm going to do the same thing I did. Now that we're done with floor 1, we're going to move on to floor 2, and I'm going to start with Ito. We're going to go ahead and do 3 attacks on him. I'm going to scroll up to move since he's a single target. I'm going to do 2 attacks with him for now, and then 2 attacks with me just to see where we're sitting at. Okay, so we can do 1 more attack with me, and then we can also do 1 more attack with Move. If you see that up there's plenty of damage left. So we're going to do 1 more remove. I can tell there's 134,000 health left in the floor, which means that there's definitely going to need to be at least 2 attacks. So we're just going to hope we hit really high on Move, 51,000, and that leaves. I'm going to go ahead and attack with the doses. Now, I don't believe there could be a chance that this doesn't hit because every time you attack, if you look right here, it's percentage based. So when he has 1% luck, I believe that means he hits 1% stronger than his base stats right here when you look at the score. So there's a chance that you could hit, if you look right here, negative at the bottom of the list, negative 25% luck. So I mean, him hit 66,000. That was actually me. But I believe that if we attack with Ito, he'll still one shot it. But even if he doesn't, we could still attack again and it wouldn't be too bad. But now that you're on the last floor, and this works the same for dungeons and raids, we'll talk about raids in a little bit. You can just drop all the rest of the attacks. It doesn't matter what order you do them in. I believe. If that's not the case, please somebody correct me in the comments, but I'm almost 100% certain that you can just dump these attacks. And boom, we have 0 attacks left on everybody. Wow, I'm really surprised we didn't get a 100% success chance on that dungeon. But as you can see here, you get 2 loot drops, you get subclass experience, you're gonna get some battle energy for the underworld battle, you're gonna get some energy for the boss. We got a void scroll and we got a Nether Storm token. This is gonna get us into the raids. And I'm gonna show you the raids. We're not gonna attack in the raid, but the right down here on the bottom right, you can see we have the dungeons, and then if you click on the bottom left, next to that, you can see that we have the raids. Now, I am in a private raid party, and you can see there's 11 out of 12 of us in this. This is for the Frostcliff Gate party. Once this fills, Javandis will do the exact same thing. He's going to start it up, but instead of there being 4 people split between 3 floors, there's going to be 12 people split between 5 floors. So it works out a little different, but it's generally works the exact same way. All right, now that we've got the attacking out the way, let's talk about some of the loot. So I'm going to go ahead and start from the first level 250 dungeon that you can do, the Sundown Shield dungeon. The reason I'm going to start looking at the loot for this one is because this is the first dungeon that starts to drop you greater soul stones. There's different types of soul stones. Only ones that, I mean, honestly, truly matter, I'm going to say, are common greater soul stones. They raise your score a lot. And by the time you get, I want to say it's level 250. I was already 250 when the Underworld came out, so I can't really say for certain. But I'm pretty sure when you get to level 250, you can't use anything below a greater soul stone. So whenever you get into a dungeon, you get into a loot, and you finally figure out how to do the attacks, and you get your loot together, and you maybe even find a static group where all 4 of you guys make the same materials, make the materials that you need every day, and just run like 2 dungeons a day. You're gonna start getting the loot. The main pieces of loot that you're looking for are really 4 things. Yeah, we'll say 4 things. You got greater soul stones, you got raid tokens, you got magic dust, and then you have underworld tools. The tools are what's going to help you speed up making your required materials for the dungeons, as well as leveling up that skill. Those are the 2 things that help you make the materials faster. There's all kinds of different tools ranging from all kinds of different levels. So that's the type of loot that you're looking for. Not only that, but when you start getting to some of the higher ones, you're going to see, oh, sorry, that's the dungeon loot. Whenever you're talking about getting into some of the raid loot, you're going to start to see these things called legendary and epic offhands. They're going to be upgraded versions of the regular offhands starting at level 275. You exclusively can only get those from raids. Also, you can get stuff like this legendary level 300 weapon enhanced gem. This will increase the legendary buff on a level 300 weapon by 2%. The highest you can go with this is 55. There's also an epic version, does the exact same thing, except it only brings the epic buff up to 45%, which is still really, really good. Yeah, so as well as that, magic dust. What does magic dust do? When you combine magic dust together, it makes rune dust. When you open the rune dust, it's almost like a little loot box. When you open the rune dust, you have a chance at getting all these kinds of crazy items. Right now there's an event, so you see these anniversary nether grimoires at the bottom. Those are temporary, but what's going to be here is the seals up top and the regular books. You get these books, you can equip them to your character, you get boosts outside of the underworld with these, and you fill them with seals. Now there's 6 save slots on the book, so basically you're gonna get a book from a room dust, and you're gonna be like, wow, this is great. I got a book from a room dust. Do I sell it? I'm not gonna sell it because I have this crit seal. I'm gonna put the crit seal inside of the book, and I'm gonna get 3% extra crit damage. You do that 6 times. If you look right here, it says 6 safe slots. You do that 6 times, 6 times 3, 18%, plus the 21% that's on the buff in the book. If you look at that, that'll give you about a whopping 21% extra crit damage outside of the underworld, which is amazing. Crit damage is amazing. These books are extremely good. If you say I got a 47.71% crit damage book, I'm probably going to hold on to this one until more dungeons and raids come out, because I mean, there's really no point in me pushing it any further than this. It already is pretty decent as far as it goes. I got lucky on around Christmas time with this one. He did Corah did another event around Christmas time with the same anniversary event he's doing right now. Something I wanted to do today was I got a couple of these legendary nightshade blades, and I also wasted diamonds on some citrine that I bought from Megamind. I kind of wanted to show you guys how to ladder an offhand. So basically what laddering an offhand is, and these are the offhands that you get from the raids, what you can do, if you look up here in the top right, you can upgrade them and make them stronger, and they give you all kinds of boosts. We can look at those boosts later. Actually, we'll look at them beforehand so you guys know what kind of stuff we're getting ourselves into. If you look right here, we're going for the legendary 300. So if we can get this offhand to plus 10, and the success chance changes every time, but if we can get it to plus 10, we'll get a 20% execute buff, a 50% gold buff, a 70% quest experience buff, and a 200% experience buff, which is crazy. If you were to get this, you could use it yourself if you were around level 300, or you could sell it for a lot of diamonds if you were to get that lucky. But I'm going to show you guys how to ladder an offhand. Now, if you were to upgrade an offhand, I would not recommend getting it past +1, because if you look right here underneath the gems in the top right, it's the success chance 100%. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Are you sure? Yes. Beyond this, it is not guaranteed. So unless you have an extra one to do what I'm about to tell you, which is called laddering. So what we're going to do now, I mean, I guess you really don't have to upgrade the second one, but what you do for the first one, right? We're going to take, this is our first chance. We're going to upgrade it. We have a 90% chance that it's going to succeed. Yes, we're sure. Boom, success, +2. Now, if you were doing this, me, I don't really need it. I have my legendary +2 327 offhand. But if you, like if I was laddering this offhand, I would be doing it like this. I don't necessarily need this offhand. I'm just rolling the dice on this. But if this was your scenario, you wouldn't want to get any less than that. What you're going to do is you're going to equip your bare bones one, and now we're going to upgrade that to +1, and now we're going to take the chance on getting this one to +2. Success. Now that we have 2 +2 offhands, now we can safely gamble this one to +3, and it breaks. Upgrade failed. That offhand is now gone for good. We only have this last +2. Now, if I didn't have a backup, which is this one right here, I would not be upgrading this, and I would be leaving it the way it is. But since I'm purely doing this for content's sake, I will be upgrading this until it either hits plus 10 or until it breaks. So let's go and see what happens. Okay, plus 3. Because my luck would have been it broke right there. We're gonna roll the dice again. Oh, plus 4. Okay. Now, realistically, I want to get it 3 more times. Plus 7 would be really, really good. But I mean, a 60% chance right now to get it to plus 5. We can do this. It's can't be that hard, right? Let's go. Plus 5 offhand, straight the bat off one shot. I want to sell this so bad, but Mama did not raise a quitter. We're going to risk it one more time for the content. Oh, and it's gone. But that's okay. We still have this plus 2, and we still have 551 sit. Probably gonna sell that. Probably gonna have to sell that right now, huh? I bought this for pretty cheap, so I could probably sell it. But yeah, I just wanted to risk that offhand and talk a little bit about all this stuff. Oh, looks like we completed the private raid party. Got a pink dust. You know what we're really hoping for on these ones right here? We're really hoping for these level 325 weapon gems. These things right here. But oh well, thanks for stopping by, guys. If there's anything you guys want to see in the next video, please let me, or not in the next video, but if there's anything you guys want to see in the future, just please let me know. I'm currently working on episode 2 of the 325 weapons saga. That will be out, I want to say in less than a week, maybe in a couple of days. Just want to, stack up some citrine, maybe do a couple more cool things with the account so that way I have some content for the next video. But if there's anything you guys want to see in the future, please let me know down below. Thanks for stopping by.